Hello, today's weather is absolutely fantastic. It was horrible yesterday, so I'm happy for today as I will take a boat on Suzhou Creek. It's just up ahead, and I'll just show you one building development which is called 1,000 Trees. This is the second phase. The first phase is way back over there, and it has this interesting architectural style with all of the trees. So here we have Suzhou Creek, which is kind of the second river here in Shanghai. The Huangpu is the main river that goes through the centre. There's the ferries, and then here's some of the information about where we are here. Hello. There the tickets are being checked, and it's a case of pre-booking with a QR code. The advice is kind of to do it well in advance, not necessarily on the day, because it can get quite crowded. I've got no idea which boats that we're going to be on. There are some that are open and some that are closed. I think we might be on this closed one, like the larger boat style, and then this is the smaller boat, these open air, and they're supposed to be styled on a Shanghai car, I think. So yes, we're in the smaller styled boat, which is good. I'm happy for that. Yeah. Great, and we can get out here. And look, there you go, max capacity 11 passengers on this style of boat. I think it's more, I think it's like double on the other style. So we are off, and the boat is fully electric by the feel of it. And it seems like we have a voiceover. There's the 1,000 Trees development from the water side. Soochow Creek used to be really quite messy, dirty, muddy, full of debris, but what the city did in 2000 was said, right, let's clean it up and add these border walks, and there's a cycle path, and so now it's all actually quite pretty. They've done it quite rapidly, and it's all quite well done now. 3 herons there catching some fish. Here is one of the more enclosed boats. This area here is what's called M50. It's an art space which also has a few bars and restaurants in it as well. We're going under one of the larger road bridges right now. There'll be quite a few on the way to the Bund. There we've got quite a good view all of the way to People's Square. That's the Marriott hotel. There's many new developments along the creek, but there's also some restored old, probably warehouse buildings that we can see here. Behind these trees we've got one of the Beer Lady establishments. I think that might also be the 1908 art space as well. Here we have another dock for these ferries. This is the newly opened Photographiska, which I think is an international brand for contemporary photographic art galleries. I think that's been open maybe 2 years. I haven't been inside it yet. It's not free. I think it's about 120 RMB for a day's ticket. And next to it, here we have something that's very famous here in China. This is the Shihang warehouse, and it was famous for being involved in the occupation war of Japan, and it's publicized in a movie called The 800. There weren't actually 800 people defending it, it was more like 450, and the international settlement was directly across the river. So for the Chinese to survive, they actually had to cross over the river and gain access into the international settlement. Because it was so close to the international settlement, it actually stopped the Japanese invaders from using too much artillery for fear of actually hitting the international settlement, and therefore bringing the British and the Americans particularly into the war against them. This is not the original bridge that they escaped via, but this is a rebuild in, I believe, 2002. Anyway, there's another view of the warehouse. There's actually some damage from ornaments on the other side. Dated 1929, these warehouses have been converted into a designer office space. That's the same style of boat that we are on right now. You see this quite a lot in the Shanghai developments. The facade has been kept, but the inside absolutely totally removed. This lattice bridge we're going under is the Zhejiang Bridge, Zhejiangqiao, and it was in the Empire of the Sun. I'll put a link up to that video, which was one that I did just recently. These apartments are all relatively new, being finished within the last 5 years or so. And then you can see there's some more original style here, probably from around about the, I don't know, 1890s through to 1920s. This is Henan Chao, I think. There's also some famous old buildings behind this archway here. So that building is known as the Hebin building, or it is now, and I think this is the one that, you know, correctly or incorrectly, people think is shaped in an S, such that Victor Sassoon, with the Peace Hotel being a little bit like a V shape, left his initials here on Shanghai with the V and the S of these two buildings. I might need to do a little bit more research on this one to see whether that's true or not. What we have coming up here is the original city's post office, which until recently housed the stamp museum. I think it still does. It seems to be difficult to get into now. I had a quick look at the architecture, and apparently it's in the eclectic style and finished in the 1920s. There's all the super tools in the background. Over here we've got the Bellagio Hotel. I think I'm right in saying it's the only Bellagio that's outside of Las Vegas. Who knows? Jiapu Lu Chao. Again, it's in the Empire of the Sun, and it's sometimes known as Drone Bridge because a lot of people take off with their drones there. You can see people are taking photos from there because it's a good vantage spot, because the Garden Bridge is in the background as well as all of the super tall buildings. This is an area of the Suzhou Creek that has been particularly well done and is quite pretty. And we've got the Broadway mansions in the background. This is another fairly historic building, which probably would have gone up in the 1840s or 50s. I see we've got a crash helmet here. It's actually Formula One weekend here in Shanghai, so that's probably what they're doing that for. I'll just move past the ladies and get another shot of the super tools up here. We've got a lot going on here. So yeah, there's the Broadway Mansions historic building, there's the Astor House Hotel, which is now the Securities Museum. It's not a hotel anymore. We've got the Russian Consulate, we've got the various super tools with the Pearl Tower, the Shanghai World Financial Center, the Shanghai Tower and the Jinmao Tower there. This is Garden Bridge, Waibaibu Chao, I'm sure I've got that wrong, and then the Peninsula Hotel and the former grounds of the British Consulate there. And then there's also this Martyrs Monument here, which is where the main park in China used to be. And then we've got the Huangpu, you can just about see there, hopefully underneath the Garden Bridge. I think this is the end of the line for the cruise. Yeah, there's the view, classic view of Shanghai, and then here we have the boat. There's the one that we were on, the boat, and off we go. 谢谢你，再见。Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Here we can see some people waiting to get on to those boats there. This is the old original rowing club built in 1903, and it also had a swimming pool alongside with it. We've got the beginnings of the rock bund there, which go on to the Peninsula Hotel. I'll put a link above to the Shanghai for free part 2, which is where I did the northern part of the Bund here. The weather is absolutely glorious. Let me just show you the rowing club was partially destroyed, and so you can see what they've done here is try to recreate where it used to be. In the background, the former British consulate. I've mentioned that a few times. Everybody taking advantage of the good weather to get their photos in, and this is something Shanghai has done a lot of here, especially on the Suzhou Creek, is really try to make things look a lot nicer. So a lot of plants, pathways, grass, all looking pretty good. Sign for the Garden Bridge, there it is. It was actually going to be taken down and replaced with a more modern, boring concrete structure, and Shanghai voted and said nope, we would prefer to keep our beloved bridge, thank you very much. And kind of nice that they did. A lot of people take photos from this bridge as well as of this bridge from over there. So because we were so close, real brief view. Russian embassy, still got these walls around it, and then this is the Astor House Hotel. It used to be one of the main 4 Astor House Hotel. Now, what the hotel had, completed in 1834, it was one of the first here. This was the Peacock Room. This was known as the most plush ballroom in any hotel in China / Asia. Now I'll see how much else I can see, but you can see the interesting architecture in the lobby space as well. Oh. There we go, look at that. And here we have a room that's done up in a typical style. There's the bed, chairs, etc. And then out on a view to the river. You can see the old hallway behind me. Well, that's a shame, staff only. That you can just see it in the distance. That's this sky-lit, large, open central hall that they've got there, but it's not available. Neither are quite a few of the corridors down to the main hotel rooms. So there's the main staircase. I just used the elevator there and then down to the back to the main lobby space. I guess this was originally the hotel reception desk. There we go. This is one of the main 4 hotels, along with the Peace, the Park and the Metropole. I think those are the main 4. Let's just have a quick look here. I'll have to do some more research, because just looking at this it says completed in 1912. The research I did was way earlier than that. Maybe I'll put some text on the screen to correct that. I'm not going to take you in the Broadway mansions, we've done that before. Something I've mentioned on an earlier video is this building here is quite new and been completed, and in fact they've also added to the main Huangpu path on the north bank. Let's just have a quick look at that, see if that's open and available now. Martyrs Monument, Peninsula Hotel, Garden Bridge, Suzhou Creek, Russian Consulate, Astor House Hotel, that new building, and indeed this pathway is open. There we have this walkway going all the way along on the north side. I note it's a walkway, there seems to be no cycle path added to it like there is over on the other side, linked to where William rode that with us. We have a little inlet here and it carries on, and you can see some more fantastic flowers. We've got the international cruise terminal further up ahead, and there's some kids climbing frame there as well. But I won't go further because this really was supposed to be a video about Suzhou Creek itself, kind of on the water. What I'll probably do is another video where I visit some of the places I mentioned, but whilst on my e-bike rather than from the river. So this new building, I think I've got my answer that it's the, I think it's the Regent Hotel. It doesn't look like apartments from the pathway now, but there's that crash helmet, Mobil oil advert. There's the Suzhou Creek, and it's this part that I mentioned from the boat that has been particularly well done, and we've got a coffee shop there in the distance. And there the classic shot of Shanghai, Changhua Road Bridge, and loads of photography going on. The creek, Postal Museum. So I hope that was interesting, seeing Suzhou Creek from the waterside. I'll put details below on how to actually grab that boat. It isn't the most easy thing to do because everything is totally in Chinese text. Probably I will do some of the sites again, but I'll visit them actually physically, so go around the M50 area, etc., to actually show you a little bit closer rather than just going past on a boat. Hope you enjoyed that. Join me on the next one. Bye bye.